Hi, today we're going to explore sensory stuff for adopted teenagers, thinking in terms and broader terms of why teenagers might need sensory stimuli. It might be because they have a childhood condition, or it might be because they just struggle with daily life and they need a lot more sensory stimulus than your average teenager might need. So just thinking about touch, for example, thinking about them being in their bedroom environment. What works for me is to supply some sort of soft blanket on the bed. It doesn't have to be thick, it just needs to be something that can be touched and stroked, and I think that's quite calming. We have a blanket on the bed at the moment that has like a velour type surface to it, and sometimes the boys will have that on their bed even when they don't really need it for warmth. And should I just say, even at teenage stage, children that have sensory processing issues just love soft toys. I mean, sensory is about sending messages from the hands, the eyes, the ears, taste, whatever, back to the brain, and just giving it that extra bit of a kick, a bit of oomph. So soft toys as well. Unlike with younger children, older children not necessarily going to play with Play-Doh, so a way that you can replicate that feeling of pressure, which children with sensory really need, to be able to push down and get that pressure and to get that soft squidgy feeling in the hands. So making pastry is one way of doing that, and making bread is another. And of course they might need some supervision, they might not, but that will give them that feeling, that lovely squidgy feeling in their hands. Also, what we find anyway is soft clothing. We find that particularly with our younger child, jeans just don't do it, and so our boys wear a lot of tracksuits, which wouldn't be my choice. You may have a boy, a girl, but if you can think about clothing that is softer on them, that will help. Socks and things that are softer. With teenagers, they love music, so think about a way that they can have a device which is near to them night or day, where you can maybe regulate the music that they're having, but they can have earphones and they can calm themselves down then by listening to particular tracks that they enjoy and that you're happy with. And then there's other things that make noises: wind chimes, rain collectors, anything that makes a soft noise will be comforting to them. And it might well be that you have to have that in a garden area, or it might be that you can set up stuff in their room. I've found with foster children that I've had that anything that allows us to be able to gently touch or pressure touch is really helpful. Things like moisturizers and creams for the hands or the feet, and just having a time to do massage is really good. Also, hair time, brushing hair and hairdressers, that type of thing I used to find was really good, and I think you could do that with any age child. And I would spend hours with foster children doing hair time. They would do mine, I would do theirs. Makeup, if you're happy with that, is another way, or face paint. Again, if you're happy with that, you may not be, but face paint allows touch in a good and natural way, and it's giving that stimulation. Dressing up with a teenager, it could be you allowing them to use your clothes, or you get different clothes in just for fun. It's something that allows extra stimulation and fun times as well. The bath is a really lovely time for stimulation, for relaxation. As they're reaching teenage, you wouldn't be part of that, but you can still give them the stuff to have in the bath. So you can think about essential oils that are safe for children or young adults, bubbles that are safe, extra dim lighting as well, if you can manage to do that, so that the whole of the bath time would become a very sensory experience for your young teenager and would be very relaxing for them. And then there's activities which we wouldn't normally think about as sensory, but they are. Swimming has got to be the top of the list for giving that sensory experience and relaxing. But then comes the other things that you can have in the house. So painting, a wide range of mediums for artwork. So pastels, crayons, pencils, felt tips, paints, everything. If you could allow that to be laid out for your child to experiment with, they would really get a lot from that because of the touch, but also that's given them the visual stimulation as well. If you're brave enough, you could then have an art box with lots and lots of different things available for them. So you could have boxes of feathers, buttons, sequins, lots of different things that could be stuck onto paper and experimented with, 3D items as well. And I would imagine that any child, but even a teenage child, would be happy to sit and do that for quite a long period of time, and it's just that calming presence for them. If you find that your child is quite fidgety and struggles to sit still, and that's one of the issues that you have, then I know that you can get cushions that have sort of bumps on them which super stimulate, but you can also think about a special cushion that they can have that have different textures sewn into them, so that they might be able to then fiddle with the labels or the particular soft material. And there are obviously squidgy balls that you can get. You don't need to find something that says special needs on it. You know, any ball or item that can be squished or squashed, I think there's something called squishies anyway, that will do the trick. You know, it doesn't have to have a special label assigned to it as being for someone who needs sensory processing or sensory stimulus. And then think about how food can play a big part in helping children. Children need to feel that they are sometimes in control, to be fair, and food can play a big part in this. So we have a few issues around food, but we also have a lot of joy and pleasure with food in our family as well. And it could be that you can encourage your teenager to get involved in the cooking. And by that, yeah, they're getting the visual stimulus again. You know, the smell is being stimulated and they're part of the process. And perhaps if you have a regular slot for them when they're getting involved in the cooking, this is going to give them a real boost. So I hope that helps you guys. It's not an easy one to think of, but maybe I've given you a few ideas, and if I have, please subscribe and I'll see you on the rest of my channel. Thank you.